Have you ever wondered how to know that Allah is purifying your heart and your intentions? Perhaps you've felt a shift in your actions, a change in your desires, or a deeper connection to your Creator. This could very well be a sign that Allah is refining your intentions, bringing you closer to the path of righteousness. Our intentions, what's in our hearts, define who we are and determine the quality of our worship. Allah, in His infinite mercy, constantly purifies our hearts, guiding us toward sincerity in all that we do. But how do we know when this process is taking place? How do we recognize the signs that Allah is helping us purify our hearts and direct our intentions towards Him? In today's video, we're going to uncover 3 clear signs that Allah is purifying your intentions. These signs aren't always obvious at first, but when you begin to notice them, you'll feel a deep sense of spiritual growth and closeness to Allah. These signs show you that you are on the right path, striving for sincerity, seeking the pleasure of Allah alone, and living a life aligned with the beautiful teachings of Islam. As we journey through these signs, you'll begin to understand how Allah's guidance shapes your actions, cleanses your heart, and aligns your intentions with His divine will. It's a journey of self-improvement, faith, and spiritual purification that brings you closer to the ultimate goal, gaining Allah's pleasure and eternal success in the hereafter. But before we start, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Xplorers, and share this video with anyone who might benefit from this knowledge. May Allah bless you with success in this life and the next. Sign 1. You begin to seek Allah's pleasure alone. When Allah begins to purify your intentions, one of the first signs that become evident is that your focus shifts entirely towards seeking His pleasure and His pleasure alone. In this world, it is easy to become distracted by the praise, recognition, or admiration of others. We live in a society where external validation often seems to be the measure of success. People constantly look for approval from others, whether it's in their work, relationships, or acts of kindness. However, a truly purified heart is not concerned with these temporary rewards. Instead, it desires only to please the one who created it, Allah. As human beings, it's natural to seek validation. We want to feel appreciated, acknowledged, and loved. But when Allah is purifying your heart, you will notice a subtle but powerful shift in your mindset. You will find that your actions, even the smallest ones, become motivated by a desire to seek the pleasure of Allah rather than the approval of people. This shift is not just about what you do, but why you do it. The underlying purpose behind every action becomes aligned with fulfilling your Creator's will, regardless of whether anyone else notices or praises you for it. It's about the sincerity of your heart. Say, "My prayer, my offering, my life, and my death are for Allah, the Lord of all the worlds." Whether we are praying, working, helping others, or simply going about our day-to-day routines, our ultimate aim should always be to gain Allah's pleasure. It's not about showing off or seeking admiration from people. When your heart shifts in this way, you will feel a profound peace, because you realize that you are seeking something much more valuable than fleeting worldly praise. You are striving for the eternal pleasure of the one who controls everything. Imagine how freeing it would feel to let go of the constant need for recognition from others. When your intention is purely for Allah, your happiness is no longer dependent on how others view you. You begin to do things for the sake of Allah, whether it's giving charity without expecting thanks, helping someone in need without broadcasting it to the world, or striving to be a better person in private moments. This shift of intention brings a sense of liberation, as you no longer have to worry about pleasing people. You start to find joy in knowing that Allah sees your efforts, and that's all that matters. The world is full of distractions, and the pursuit of recognition from others can easily steer us away from our ultimate goal, seeking Allah's approval. But when Allah purifies your heart, you will find that your perspective changes. You will realize that the only opinion that truly matters is that of Allah. This realization leads to a profound sense of inner peace, because when your actions are sincere and driven by the desire to please Allah, you are no longer bound by the expectations of the world around you. This purification of intention doesn't happen overnight. It is a gradual process that requires self-awareness and constant effort. At times, you might find yourself slipping back into the old habit of seeking praise from others. But as you continue to strive for sincerity in everything you do, you will notice that your heart is gradually becoming more focused on Allah's pleasure. Slowly but surely, your heart will detach from the need for worldly approval, and you will find true contentment in the knowledge that Allah is pleased with you. The journey of purifying your intentions is not always easy. It takes patience and perseverance. However, the rewards are immeasurable. Allah sees every action, every struggle, and every effort you make to seek His pleasure, and He will never let your sincere efforts go to waste. When you make the intention to live for Allah, your life takes on a deeper meaning, and you begin to understand that every moment, no matter how small, is an opportunity to earn His pleasure. The desire for approval from others fades, and you begin to find joy in doing things purely for Allah's sake. This is one of the most powerful signs of spiritual growth and a sign that Allah is guiding your heart to a place of peace and sincerity. Remember, as you continue this journey, your intention should always be to seek Allah's approval, for it is He who rewards the sincere heart with everlasting joy. Sign 2. You start letting go of negative traits. One of the most profound signs that Allah is purifying your intentions is when you start letting go of negative traits that once controlled your behavior. These negative traits could range from anger, pride, jealousy, and greed to feelings of resentment and hatred. As human beings, we are often driven by these emotions, and sometimes they shape the way we interact with others and perceive the world around us. However, when Allah is purifying your heart, He removes these harmful characteristics, replacing them with qualities that bring you closer to Him and help you lead a life of peace, compassion, and gratitude. Let's start with a common trait: anger. It's easy to become frustrated, upset, or angry, especially when things don't go our way. We might get irritated by small annoyances or lash out when we feel wronged. However, a purified heart is one that understands the value of patience and self-control. Allah guides you to let go of this destructive anger, teaching you to forgive others and to control your emotions before they take over. And, 4, those who abstain from the major sins and from shameful acts, and for those who, when they get angry, they forgive. This is a sign that Allah is purifying your heart, because when you are able to forgive others even in difficult situations, it shows that your intention is not about seeking revenge or holding grudges, but about seeking peace and closeness to Allah. This transformation in behavior is not something that happens overnight, but it is a clear sign that Allah is guiding your heart toward purity. Similarly, Allah purifies the believer's heart by helping them let go of pride, a trait that can make us feel superior to others. Pride is often rooted in arrogance, where we place our value in things like status, wealth, or achievements. When you start letting go of pride, you realize that all of your blessings come from Allah, and you are humbled by the fact that no matter how much you achieve, you are always in need of His mercy. Instead of seeking to boast about your accomplishments, you begin to find contentment in being grateful for everything you have and recognizing that Allah is the ultimate giver of success. One of the most powerful ways Allah purifies the believer's heart is by helping them overcome jealousy. Jealousy is a destructive emotion that eats away at the soul, causing resentment toward others' success, happiness, or blessings. It can cloud our hearts and prevent us from being happy for others. When Allah is purifying your heart, you find that jealousy fades away. Instead of feeling bitter or envious when someone else is blessed, you genuinely begin to feel happy for them and pray that Allah continues to bless them. This change in attitude is not easy, but it is a powerful sign of Allah's guidance. You learn to be content with what you have and trust that Allah has a plan for you. You begin to understand that everyone's path is different, and just as Allah has given someone else blessings, He will provide for you in the best way at the right time. Allah's purification also helps you let go of negative thoughts and resentment. Often, we hold on to past hurts and allow them to affect our relationships and our peace of mind. But when Allah purifies your heart, He teaches you to forgive and move forward. You start to understand that holding on to bitterness only harms you, and the best way to heal is by letting go of grudges and trusting in Allah's wisdom. When you begin to let go of negative traits, you notice a change in how you interact with others. You become more understanding, more empathetic, and more compassionate. Your relationships improve, and you find peace within yourself. As you let go of these negative traits, you become more conscious of your actions and words. You begin to see that your relationship with Allah is directly connected to how you treat others. Purification of the heart leads to a purification of your interactions with those around you. You stop judging others harshly, and instead, you offer kindness and understanding, knowing that Allah is the ultimate judge. This process of purification is not about becoming perfect overnight. Rather, it is about continuous self-improvement and striving to reflect the qualities that Allah loves. It is a journey of becoming the best version of yourself, not for the approval of people, but for the pleasure of Allah. You realize that by purifying your heart and letting go of negative emotions, you are freeing yourself from the burdens that hold you back and preventing you from reaching your full potential. When you notice yourself starting to let go of negative traits like anger, pride, jealousy, and resentment, know that Allah is purifying your heart. He is helping you become more aligned with the qualities that lead to spiritual growth and peace. This is a beautiful sign that Allah is guiding you toward a life of sincerity, kindness, and humility. As you continue on this journey, remember that every effort to let go of negativity is an act of worship and a step closer to Allah's mercy and forgiveness. Sign 3. You begin to have a desire to do good, even in hidden acts. As Allah purifies your intentions, another powerful sign you will notice is a deep and sincere desire to do good deeds, even when no one is watching. This is perhaps one of the clearest and most rewarding signs that Allah is guiding you. The desire to do good, not for recognition or praise, but purely for the sake of Allah, signifies a transformation in your heart that moves you toward sincerity and righteousness. In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with external influences, and there's often a temptation to do good deeds simply to gain praise, likes, or followers. Social media, for instance, sometimes encourages people to display their good deeds in front of others, seeking validation for what is supposed to be a personal act of worship. However, when Allah purifies your heart, your motivations shift entirely. You start to realize that the most beautiful and pure acts are those performed in secret, with the sole intention of pleasing Allah, even if no one else knows or acknowledges them. One of the most beautiful aspects of Islam is that Allah doesn't judge us by the number of people who see our good deeds, but by the sincerity behind them. Allah loves those who give charity in secret, who pray in the night while the rest of the world sleeps, and who help others with no expectation of anything in return. These acts are done purely for the pleasure of Allah, and that is what makes them so precious in His sight. If you make charity openly, it is good enough, and if you keep it secret and give it to the needy, it is much better for you, and this will write off part of your sins. Allah is all aware of what you do. It's a sign of a purified heart when you give, not to impress others, but to please Allah alone. Whether it's donating money, helping a neighbor, or volunteering your time, The key is that your actions are motivated by the desire to earn Allah's approval, not the applause of others. When your intention shifts in this way, you begin to feel a sense of peace and satisfaction that comes from knowing that Allah sees every action, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem. You no longer need external validation because you are content with knowing that Allah is aware of your deeds and rewards them accordingly. You also find that these acts of kindness and generosity bring you closer to Allah, and this is the true reward you seek. As you continue on this path of purifying your intentions, you will start to notice a deeper love for doing good in all aspects of your life. You might begin helping people in ways that no one knows about, such as paying someone's bill anonymously, quietly supporting a friend in need, or giving charity without telling anyone. These hidden deeds are the most valuable in the sight of Allah because they come from a place of true sincerity. When you do good for the sake of Allah, you are not only helping others, but also purifying your own soul. The desire to do good, even in hidden acts, also manifests in your personal worship. When Allah purifies your heart, you may find yourself waking up in the middle of the night for tahajjud, night prayer. Even when no one else is around to witness it, you will be motivated to perform acts of worship with sincerity and consistency, not because of the praise of others, but because you understand the value of seeking Allah's closeness in private moments. In these moments when you know that only Allah is watching, you experience a sense of peace and contentment that surpasses anything that can be achieved through the approval of people. The intimacy with Allah that is built through these private moments of worship is irreplaceable, and it strengthens your connection with Him. These acts of kindness, charity, and worship, done in secret, are not just external actions. They are deeply transformative experiences that purify your soul and help you grow closer to Allah. Another powerful aspect of this is that when your intentions are purified, you begin to see good in others, and your acts of kindness extend beyond just helping people you know. You develop a sincere desire to make a positive impact in the lives of everyone you encounter, whether it's through a smile, a kind word, or an anonymous donation to someone in need. This is not a superficial act, but one that comes from a deep place of love for Allah and His creation. You begin to see that every act of goodness, no matter how small, has the potential to earn Allah's pleasure. It's important to remember that the smallest acts of goodness can carry immense reward in the eyes of Allah. It might be something as simple as holding the door open for someone, helping a colleague with a task, or giving someone a compliment when they least expect it. Allah doesn't look at the size of the action, but the sincerity of the intention behind it. These small, hidden deeds, done purely for Allah's sake, can transform your life in ways you may not even realize. They draw you closer to Allah, purify your heart, and reflect the true essence of what it means to live a life dedicated to Him. This desire stems from a heart that is fully aligned with seeking Allah's pleasure and is no longer swayed by the desire for recognition or praise. When your intentions are pure, the good you do becomes a source of spiritual growth and fulfillment, bringing you closer to Allah with every sincere act. As you continue on this journey of purifying your intentions, remember that the hidden, sincere acts are among the most precious in the sight of Allah. Seek His pleasure, and He will reward you beyond your imagination. We've explored the beautiful signs that Allah is purifying your intentions, and I hope this discussion has inspired you to reflect on your own heart and actions. Remember, this journey of purification is ongoing, and every effort you make to align your intentions with Allah's will brings you closer to His mercy and blessings. It's not about perfection, but sincerity and striving with a pure heart for His sake alone. As we wrap up, I encourage you to take a moment, reflect, and ask yourself, are my actions truly for the sake of Allah? Let's continue to grow together on this path of spiritual purification. If you found this video beneficial, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Deen Xplorers, and share it with your friends and family so we can all benefit from the beautiful wisdom of Islam. May Allah purify our hearts, guide us to the straight path, and grant us success in both this life and the hereafter.